What's happening, Jimmy Florentine?
Yes.
What's going on? 6 houses away. We're still fucking zooming. Fuck it. After this is all over, nobody's going to want to go nowhere. We're going to just keep fucking zooming. I'm not leaving my house to drive an hour to go fucking Zoom in Connecticut or some shit.
Yeah, man. It's like, remember you used to drive like an hour and a half or an hour to go do
Yeah.
I'm doing it. For what?
An hour to fucking get there, then they talk to you for 15 minutes, then it's an hour and a half podcast, and they want to introduce you to their fucking mother, and then you drive an hour, 2 hours in traffic, so your whole day went to a fucking podcast. This is a lot better, I think. I think people are going to stick to this.
I feel like you get a better connection when you're in studio, though.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
You know, you got the little delay here and all that shit, but we're 6 hours away. There shouldn't be a delay.
No, there shouldn't. Nothing. No fucking delay. I want to start off with a question for you, because I was talking about this earlier in the podcast. What did you think when I called you July 12th and told you I wanted to move and I needed your help? What was the first thing that came to your mind?
I was like, I don't know if he's serious. He's probably just, you know, hating LA at the moment. But I just said, look, man, I go, if you move here, it's going to be quiet, nice, you know, neighborhood. You know, if you want to move around where I live, everything's right around here. There's no chaos. There's no nothing. It's the complete opposite of LA. If you're ready for it, but you live in the suburbs, you know, with kids and all that stuff, playing on the street. If that's what you want, you go from the action in LA. So if you're ready for that, it's a quiet life.
It was exactly what I wanted. But what did you think 2 years later, 2 weeks later, when your sister-in-law called you and said, we're looking at houses and he's putting offers in? What was your reaction then?
I couldn't believe it, because I was like, I just threw it out there. I go, hey, my sister-in-law is a real estate agent. You know, if you're interested, I don't know if you have one or whatever. I don't want to get in people's business. I just threw it out there. Go, yeah, give me your number. I'm going to give it to my wife. And I'm like, okay. And then next thing you know, my sister-in-law, I didn't want to bother you. I didn't know what was going on. My sister-in-law's like, no, they're really coming. They're looking at a couple of houses. And then found the one close by me. I'm like, are you serious? He's going to be living right here? They're like, yeah. They took the house. I'm like, holy shit.
You know, in our business, we get calls every day from people with promises that they're going to come. You know, I still got a guy that calls me once a year to tell me he's coming to L.A., to tell everybody to look out, that his material's on fire, that they're not going to stop him. That's for 23 years I've been getting this call from the same fucking kid. So in our business, in our world, when somebody follows through, you really fucking get blown away. Like, so I'm happy that you put the offer out there and I got to blow you the fuck away. Like 2 weeks later, we were in a house, and a month later, we were on our way here.
That was insane. It was insane. I figured you would move back to like North Jersey, where you're from, North Bergen area. I lived in Cliffside Park for a long time.
No.
I was up in that area too, but when I had a kid, I said I get to the suburbs so they can have a life, a lawn, kids playing, and so all that stuff. So I moved, you know, further south and stuff. But I figured you were going to move back to where you originally grew up with all your friends.
Fuck no. That was not happening. I considered Bergen County until the fucking Jewish guy went skiing and he come back and fucked up the neighborhood, because that's where I was looking at, Bergenfield, you know, Dumont, around there. And once fucking that guy infected Bergen County, lit up like a Christmas tree. So my only other option was South Jersey. I didn't want to move to like down the shore and fucking hand-to-hand combat every weekend with the Northerners. So we found a happy medium in the middle. I knew this area well from my brother living here, so it was perfect. And then I get here and I get introduced to the Florentine crime family, which is a complete different story. People have been contacting me thinking that you guys are in the mafia, and that's not it. I call them the Florentine crime family because they should be thrown in jail for how much fun they have. Yeah. Americans don't have as much fun as the Florentine crime family. From Sunday football to fucking Kentucky Derby parties to AC/DC bands playing on a lawn. Wrestling, they hired wrestlers one year to come to the lawn like Puerto Ricans in front of the house. That is fun. They should be thrown in jail for how much fun the Florentines have, you know. So That's why I call them the Florentine crime family, not because they're involved in stealing trucks or nothing like that.
It's amazing though. Like there's 7 of us in the family, and like you know more about what's going on with my family members than I do. You know, you'd be like, "Hey, is your sister? She's going to Florida." I go, "She is? Yeah, she's been down there for 2 days." I'm like, "Oh, that's news to me. You know more what's going on."
I love them. I grew up with Italian families like this that you just weren't friends with Jimmy. You just weren't friends with Jimmy. I used Jimmy for one thing. Me and Jimmy went to concerts. But me and your brother Bob smoked pot together. And me and Joe knew how to steal sneakers from the Englishtown Raceway.
Yeah.
And your sister Kathy used to let me into the movie theater when she paid. So I gave her free joints from time. You know, that's what a family life is. I'm just not friends with Jimmy, and I avoid everybody else. I'm friends with you. I'm friends with you. I have a relationship with your dad. I go to the track with your dad. You're like, I can't believe you got my dad high the other day. That's how I grew up with people, you know. So I'm back there again.
Yeah, no, it's great, man. Look, I knew, you know, I lived right outside of New York City for a while doing stand-up. You have no life. You're doing shows every night. You miss birthdays. You miss anniversaries. You miss everything because you're just dedicated to it. And then when I got married and had a kid, I go, I got to move back to the suburbs and have somewhat of a normal life. I can't just focus on stand-up, you know, and just live and breathe it every day. Because you have no experience. After a while, you're just doing the same thing. You're doing 2 or 3 sets a night. You're not really living. You're doing the same routine over and over again, and you're not really experiencing anything. So when I moved back here, it was definitely an adjustment to live back in a neighborhood. You know, I didn't do that for years. I was in a high-rise little apartment here and there, whatever. And I needed to be near the action. But then when I came back and had the kid and all that stuff, it all made sense. And now I love it. Look, does it take 45 minutes to go to New York City? Fine, no problem. You just leave a little early. It's no big deal.
And the ride's enjoyable. You get to clear your mind. You listen to a little Ozzy's Boneyard, a little Tom Morello. Something always pops up that you haven't heard in a while. You know, when my brother did it, my brother had a fish market. And he would leave down here at 3:45 in the morning. We would hit the Fulton Fish Market at 5 o'clock. And we would be there till 6:30, you know, joking around with the gangsters and the Italians and the Chinese people selling fish. He would deliver his 6 or 7 routes, and we would be back down here by 1. How beautiful is it right now outside?
Phenomenal.
So 1 minute you're in the jungle of New York City, and 45 minutes later you're in fucking paradise. We wouldn't even go in the house. We would shower in the side of the house, take our clothes off, and jump in his heated pool. And then he would take a piece of fish out from the day, cut the head off, and we'd grill whatever fish we had, and we'd be in the afternoon, all afternoon in his yard.